Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Secret World. The sharp-eyed among you will notice that we are not in the same location that we left last time. That's because I was running around to a couple other places that give quests to make sure that this is the last one on this side of the river. So for those of you who want to know where we left off here with Norma Creed and her investigation mission, so we are now up here with Madame Roget. And the way to get to her is to come up this street here, Arkham Avenue, down Lovecraft Lane, and then there's a small alley here which will lead into a courtyard, and then stairs down to her area here. So this will be another investigation mission. I apologize for 2 in a row. This didn't quite work out how I had planned it, but this one, again, if you do not wish to see the investigation missions, feel free to skip this video entirely. There will be nothing else in it. Those of you who wish to skip the solving of the mission, but do want to hear the story around it, I will be putting an annotation on the screen after the cutscene so that you can skip ahead to the turn-in. For the rest of you, here we go. The vision. Madame Roget has a vision of your future. Follow the vision. The clue from Madame Roget's vision said, "On the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed."
It was always about deception. The crystal ball, the gypsy clothes, the fake accent. Cheap props to make the fortune cookies easier to swallow. My customers, they bought into it because they wanted to. If there's no free will, if it's all about fate, life is a whole lot simpler. We can just say, hey, it was meant to be, and get on with it. That's the key to fortune telling. That's why people fall for it. We're all prisoners of our search for a higher meaning. It's all about mutual deception. I never believed I was telling people anything they didn't already know. Until now. I have waking dreams. Visions. I see auras. Auras! Yours, by the way, is bright enough to blind me. I see through the eyes of others. I can even see into the future, for real. The paths of fate, clear as day. It's almost like I've become who I've pretended to be all these years. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. I could be going crazy. I wouldn't blame myself if I was going, oh, great. Here we go again. I'm having another vision. They come and go like headaches. I can't really control them. Quick, before it passes. I see your twin paths. One leads to salvation, the other to defeat. I see black tendrils rising to embrace you. Voices whispering in your ear. Corruption from within and from without. Something rising from the bottomless deep to devour us all. To turn day into night. Sorry. I see something else. Our paths intertwine, converge, and at the end of it, exodus. Inescapable, permanent, fated. On the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed. That's as good as it's gonna get. Make of it what you will. Sometimes I get more visions, like the aftershocks of an earthquake. If that happens, I'll let you know. You won't even have to pay my usual fee. Let's call it a freebie, sweetie.
So that was a little odd. Those of you who wish to skip the mission itself, there will be an annotation on the screen now so that you can do so. For the rest of us, we're going to go find the location mentioned in her vision. The hint is, on the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed. This mission is mostly about running around Kingsmith, and will probably give people trouble unless they're paying attention while running around to various areas. So, tip of the pyramid. If you look on the map, nothing necessarily will call out to you until you get here to Pyramid Point. So we're going to head down here to Pyramid Point in the hopes that that is where her vision is pointing us. Alright, and we are approaching Pyramid Point now. What's that?
I had another vision. Shadows. Long shadows. From the old boughs of the fairy forest. The flickering lights of the foolish fire guiding your path. Come, come, they beckon. Does this make any sense to you?
Alright, we've got a second place to look for. She was kind of quiet, so I apologize for that, so I'll reread what she basically said. Shadows, long shadows, from the old boughs of the fairy forest, the flickery lights of the foolish fire guiding your path. Come, come, they beckon. So, going back to the map, and again, this is one of those where you're going to have to kind of bend around Kingsmith a bit. And what we are actually looking for is Wispwood here. If you remember what wisps are, they would be lights that would guide people to their doom in the forest. So we will see you there. Approaching the forest here, and you can see the wisp lights flickering around. The call should be here pretty soon.
Guess what? More visions. This time there's bees. The incessant buzzing of bees. And flowers. Flowers blooming out of season. To mark the path ahead.
So again, I'll reread that because she's a little on the quiet side. There's bees, the incessant buzzing of bees, and flowers. Flowers blooming out of season to mark the path ahead. This one will have required you to pay attention when we first arrived in Kingsmith. Otherwise, you can probably deduce it by the mention of bees, which is a term used for basically our characters in the secret world because we swallowed bees. So that might give you another hint as to where to look. But essentially, we are going to be heading back to the Agartha portal entrance. And you'll see the flowers blooming out of season around there as well. So we'll see you there. And approaching the Agartha portal now. See the lush green kind of blooming around it. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear the bees.
They keep coming. The visions, it's exhausting. So I see an angel guarding hollowed ground, sword in hand to ward off evil and to guide the way.
Our next vision. I see an angel guarding hallowed ground, sword in hand to ward off evil and guide the way. If you remember from one of our earlier investigation missions, hallowed ground was referred to as kind of unmarked, well, unhallowed ground I should say, was referred to unmarked graves. So hallowed ground is also a phrase used potentially for a graveyard. And the graveyard here in Kingsmith is around the church. And if you remember, there is actually a angelic statue in the middle of the graveyard, so we're off our way there. We'll see you there. Alright, here we are at the church, and the graveyard is basically in the back lawn. So we will head around behind there. And from here, you can make out the angel, who is wielding a sword pointed up.
This had better be the last one. It's terrifying. The cold, dead eyes of the innocent stare at you from the gallows. Their blank gaze a mirror to the past and the future.
Alright. The cold, dead eyes of the innocent stare at you from the gallows, their blank gaze a mirror to the past and the future. This one is going to be very tricky to figure out. unless you are paying attention and reading some of the, reading some of the side lore in the game that you encounter while exploring. This is actually referring to the old rickety wooden bridge here across the river, which is where they used to hang criminals. So I will show you when we get there where you can find that clue, and see you there. Alright, here we are at the Langmere Bridge. This is up north in the zone across the river. And here's the clue, the plaque here on the side of the bridge, which says, Langmore Bridge, dedicated to the works of Kingsmith Mayor John Langmore and to law, justice, and reparation. May the unquiet dead of the hangmen's span accept the lot passed to them in this life and proceed to the next without sin. So there's your reference. Now it says, cross the bridge. So let's do so. With flickery lights. And a ghost!
That's all of it. The storm is past, for now. I don't know what lies at the end of this road, but it's not good. For any of us.
Alright, and that's the end of that mission. We'll be running back to Madame Roget to turn in, so that those who skipped the actual mission itself will not be aware necessarily of the locations. I realize this has been a very short video, especially because it's been travel, and we cut a lot of that travel out to avoid boredom. So we will see you at Madame Roget's.
Hocus pocus.
Alright, and welcome back to those of you who skipped the investigation mission process. We're here at Madame Roget's, and we're going to turn in the quest. I get nightmare visions too. They involve PowerPoints that lack results. I'm trying very hard to look on the bright side of things. A. Improved sense of local geography. B. Expanded knowledge of local lore. C. Sharpened riddle reading skills. Maybe you'll write a book someday. In the meantime, we'll turn this into a pie chart and bury it in the Exodus pile. It won't be the first. Fun fact, you're now fully qualified to give guided tours of Kingsmith. Congratulations. And that's the end of that investigation mission. Apologize for how short it is again. And we will see you all next time with more The Secret World.